Step into the shadows of history and uncover eerie tales of mysterious wild men and towering hairy creatures from the 1800s. These chilling accounts from New York to California form the foundation of the Bigfoot legend we know today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these dramatized stories, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to join us on our next journey into the unexplained. Story 1. Maryland. Bigfoot sightings. Source: UFO News Clipping Service. What mysteries roam in the fields of the Beltsville Agricultural Center or the stark desolation of the Rocky Gorge Reservoir? Certainly there is wildlife, fish, fowl, and hooved creatures. But could there also be giants, hidden from humanity, surfacing only during fleeting encounters? On January 15th, a 30-year-old Skaggsville resident reported seeing a hairy, 9-foot-tall creature in his backyard near the intersection of Harding Road and Skaggsville Road. The creature fled, vanishing into the Rocky Gorge Reservoir area. While this incident might seem isolated, it joins a larger pattern of over 250 Bigfoot encounters recorded in Maryland since the early 1900s, including a dozen in the immediate area since 1973. Fall 1976. At 6:30 a.m., 23-year-old Francine Abel reported a gorilla-like creature crossing in front of her car on an exit ramp from Route 198 onto southbound I-95. The creature, round-shouldered and covered with grayish-brown fur, had red reflective eyes and fled into the woods. Mark Opsasnik, a Prince George's County government employee, has taken these sightings seriously. Inspired by Robert Chance, a Harford County teacher and Bigfoot researcher, Opsasnik has gathered hundreds of eyewitness accounts and written the Maryland Bigfoot Reference Guide. Other notable sightings include November 14, 1978. Workers near Laurel Landfill saw a creature rummaging through garbage at dawn. Late 1978, students from Pilati High School claimed to see a creature near the Rocky Gorge Reservoir. Batson Road area, 1978. Martha Kelly stated her son encountered a large, hairy creature by the Patuxent River. A footprint mold was taken, showing 4 toes and measuring 13 inches long. In March 1977, a NASA employee on his way to work reported seeing a hair-covered creature fighting a dog near Powder Mill Road in Calverton. The creature threw the dog aside before retreating into the woods. Opsasnik theorizes that Maryland's forested areas provide ample hiding spots for Bigfoot and has co-founded the Bigfoot Information Project, a privately funded clearinghouse for related data. Source: UFO News Clipping Service by Julie Hutchinson, camera staff writer. Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, has long been a hotspot for unusual activity, fueling speculation about Bigfoot in the Pike National Forest. Dan Messias, a Colorado Springs native, recalls an incident from March 28, 1987, when he and his son Jeff were up late watching TV. They saw 2 long-armed creatures running down the road past their house. Upon inspection, Messias found footprints in the snow, 14 inches long. Who in their right mind would walk barefoot here in the middle of winter, he wondered. Messias has since collected a trove of clippings and correspondence in his search for answers. Laboratory analysis performed for unsolved mysteries on a strand of light brown hair found in the area revealed that it belonged to a primate, puzzling since no primates are native to the Rocky Mountains. Source: UFO News Clipping Service. Sequoia National Park was abuzz after 5 construction workers reported a chilling encounter on August 4th while building a footbridge over the South Fork of the Kern River. At dusk, the crew heard loud, bone-chilling screams that sounded as though amplified by a stadium speaker. 4 of the workers then saw a massive, human-like silhouette, at least 8 feet tall, standing about 150 yards away. They fired a rifle shot into the air, prompting the creature to retreat. The following day they found large depressions in the ground spaced about 5 feet apart, but the soil was too hard for definitive footprints. Bigfoot sightings remain rare south of Lake Tahoe, but witnesses consistently describe the same eerie screams and enormous size. Source: UFO News Clipping Service. Don Keating of Newcomerstown recalls a September night when he spotted a towering figure moving through a nearby field. It was about 10 p.m. when I heard movement on the hillside. The figure, 8-9 feet tall and covered in light hair, moved fluidly toward a chicken coop, Keating said. Despite having a camera, he was too stunned to take a photo. The creature paused briefly before retreating. Upon investigation, Keating and his companions measured 4-foot-tall goldenrod flattened in its wake. Keating, the founder of the Eastern Ohio Bigfoot Investigation Center, continues to investigate sightings across Ohio. Reports have surfaced from Gahanna, Delaware County, and Sandusky, among others, detailing encounters with enormous, foul-smelling, ape-like creatures. While skeptics demand physical evidence, believers remain captivated by the possibility of Sasquatch roaming Ohio's expansive forests. Source: UFO News Clipping Service by John Mosley, news staff writer. It might sound like the premise of a science fiction novel, but for over a decade, the Bigfoot Investigation and Research Organization, BIRO, has quietly operated out of Paris and Dallas, Texas, to study sightings and reports of encounters with the legendary Bigfoot. According to field investigator Kenneth Shepard, the organization has purposefully maintained a low profile to respect the confidentiality of witnesses and to protect physical evidence. Many of the people who come to us fear public ridicule, Shepard said. Our discretion encourages them to share what they've seen without worrying about becoming a spectacle. A decade of diligent research, BIRO prides itself on neutrality, never entering an investigation with preconceived notions. Over the years, its members have collectively spent more than 100 man-years researching the phenomenon. While their primary focus is on reports in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana, BIRO also compares its findings to global counterparts such as Sasquatch sightings in British Columbia, the abominable snowman in Tibet, and the Almas of the Soviet Union. Much of their work begins with the discovery of footprints, large human-like tracks found along creek beds, riverbanks, or forest floors. However, Shepard stressed that not all tracks lead to conclusive evidence. A history of investigations. One notable case from April year redacted took Shepard, his father John R. Shepard, and fellow investigator Charles Hyknight to Powderly, Texas, after reports of large footprints near a stock pond. With permission from the landowner and assistance from game warden Bill Milling, the team cast several plaster molds of the tracks. Analysis revealed the tracks to be fake, created using a flexible material pulled over a shoe. It wasn't a plywood cutout as initially suspected, Shepard explained. Whatever it was, it bent at the arch, leaving a horizontal imprint in the track's base. This discovery didn't deter the team. Even when we find hoaxes, it adds to our understanding of how these events are perceived and how people interact with the phenomenon, Shepard said. Red River County and hypnosis. In another case, BIRO focused on a sighting in Red River County. A witness claimed to have encountered a large, unidentified creature years earlier, but had suppressed much of the memory due to ridicule. BIRO arranged for the witness to undergo regressive hypnosis, a tool they consider more reliable than polygraph tests for uncovering buried details. She's not the only one, Hyknight added. Psychological stress is common among witnesses. Many struggle to reconcile what they've seen with the reality they know. A mysterious June encounter. The most recent report came from rural northeast Lamar County in June year redacted. A resident contacted BIRO after hearing strange, unidentifiable sounds near their home. When investigators arrived the next day, they discovered 2 large footprints in a creek bed. Unfortunately, the prints were about 2 weeks old, limiting their investigative value. Even so, the case aligned with previous patterns. Shepard noted that strange sounds, along with the peculiar behavior of nearby cattle and deer, often precede or accompany sightings. Protecting witnesses and preserving evidence. BIRO's commitment to privacy is central to its mission. Witness names and locations are withheld upon request, ensuring those who come forward are shielded from public scrutiny. Shepard likens this to the challenges faced by UFO witnesses. The fear of ridicule means many reports come to us secondhand, and valuable information is sometimes lost in translation. The big picture. While much of BIRO's work involves collecting and analyzing footprints, Shepard emphasizes that the sightings themselves are the heart of the investigation. Witness accounts range from fleeting glimpses to detailed descriptions of towering, hair-covered creatures with human-like features. Despite their challenges, BIRO remains dedicated to uncovering the truth, one sighting at a time. It's not about proving or disproving, Shepard concluded. It's about understanding the phenomenon and respecting the stories people entrust to us. Source: UFO News Clipping Service by Chris Bentley, Newsleader Reporter, original publication date preserved. It started with cows in a panic, hundreds of them. On 5 separate farms across Webster and Ozark counties, cattle stampeded without warning, destroying fences and injuring themselves in a frenzy that lasted for a full 24 hours. What could cause such widespread chaos? Initially, theories centered on the bizarre, satanic cults or perhaps even UFOs. However, a new explanation emerged that was as unexpected as it was intriguing. Bigfoot, the Bigfoot connection. A reader in Raytown, a Kansas City suburb, was captivated by my earlier columns on the mysterious cow events. It reminded him of an old story, one that involved Cliff Lebrecht, a local business owner with an incredible tale of his own. Lebrecht claims he encountered a Bigfoot in 1977. Armed with a rifle, he fired at the creature, only to have it grab him before he could react. According to Lebrecht, what followed was even stranger. The creature communicated with him telepathically. "What in the hell are you doing?" it asked, stopping him in his tracks. For years, Lebrecht has studied the Bigfoot phenomenon and believes these creatures possess a powerful aura that induces terror in animals. Horses, he said, have been known to run through fences in a desperate attempt to flee, and cows will stampede just to escape the presence of these elusive beings. This is their migration season, Lebrecht explained. They move from marshes in the south to secluded lake areas up north. Now is the perfect time for them to be coming through the Ozarks. A frightening mystery. Lebrecht's theory fits with the timeline of the cow stampedes. The farmers initially suspected a bear, but quickly dismissed the idea. A bear couldn't have traveled to all 5 farms in such a short time, but according to Lebrecht, a Bigfoot could. "They're the fastest creature in the world on 2 feet, he said confidently. Despite Lebrecht's assertions, the idea of Bigfoot isn't the only theory being floated. Webster County Sheriff Bill John originally suspected cult activity was to blame. After all, the period from April 21st to May 1st is considered a key ritual time for satanic groups. Sheriff John's team conducted surveillance during this period, hoping to catch cultists in the act. But nothing happened. Not a single mutilation occurred during those critical 10 days. "We're really stalled on it unless we get more help from the public," the sheriff admitted. The theories take shape. Drury College criminal justice professor and cult expert Bob Harris suggested that the cultists might have gathered what they needed in advance. "It's not real hard to take what you need and put it in the deep freeze," he said ominously. This explanation raises chilling possibilities. What if someone's freezer is stocked with cow eyeballs, blood, and other gruesome remains? If so, one might ask, as Bigfoot supposedly did, "What in the hell are you doing?" Questions without answers. While the cult theory has hit a dead end, the UFO hypothesis still lingers. Yet, for Lebrecht, Bigfoot remains the most plausible explanation. There's an undeniable connection between the fear these creatures generate and the chaos we've seen in these cows, he said. Lebrecht urges skeptics to consider the migration patterns of Bigfoot, the impact their presence has on livestock, and the possibility that these creatures are more than just legend. The mystery persists. The truth behind the cow stampedes and mutilations in Webster and Ozark counties remains elusive. Whether it's the work of a cult, visitors from another world, or a migrating Bigfoot, one thing is certain: the Ozarks are a place where the line between reality and the unexplained grows thin. Some places leave an imprint on the imagination, and for me, it all began on a scorching summer day in 1978 in Norman, Oklahoma. The cool darkness of the old Cinema East Theater enveloped me as I watched. The haunting howls and shadowy figures on the screen, paired with sticky handfuls of Boston baked beans, left me transfixed. Bigfoot was at the height of his fame then, a cultural icon since the term emerged in 1958 after massive footprints were found on a Pacific Northwest logging road. By the 1970s, he was the star of films, books, and TV shows like. For a kid of that era, belief in Bigfoot came as naturally as believing in UFOs or Peter Frampton. But as the years passed, Bigfoot faded into the background, a relic of 1970s pop culture like shag carpeting and bell-bottoms. Yet in some corners of the world, like Oklahoma's forests, he's never quite disappeared. In Sulphur, Oklahoma, 65-year-old Charles Hallmark keeps the Bigfoot legend alive. With his calm demeanor and self-deprecating humor, Hallmark could pass as a country doctor, which makes his belief in 12-foot-tall, hairy, man-like creatures all the more compelling. Hallmark's fascination began in 1998 when a friend described seeing Bigfoot near Doherty. He was a rational man, Hallmark recalls. When he said Bigfoot was all over Oklahoma, I had to take it seriously. Soon, Hallmark was venturing into the woods at night, hoping for a glimpse of the elusive creatures. I grew up hunting and fishing and had seen strange things. Broken saplings, odd trails, he said. Now I realized those were Bigfoot signs. According to Hallmark, Bigfoot inhabits the Chickasaw National Recreation Area near Sulphur, a sprawling 10,000-acre park. He claims 5 or 6 Bigfoot family groups live there, drawn to the area's abundance of food. They'll eat anything, he says. People toss half-eaten hot dogs in the trash and Bigfoot cleans it out by night. Hallmark's own sightings, he counts 8 to date, describe creatures resembling great apes, but with a closer likeness to humans. They're not bad-looking, he notes. Their arms and legs are longer, their musculature stronger. Bigfoot's curiosity about humans is another hallmark of Hallmark's accounts. One notable story from 2002 involved a father and his 2 sons riding bikes near a swimming hole. A friend of Hallmark's inadvertently startled a Bigfoot engrossed in watching the family. It was so distracted by the kids it didn't see my friend approach. When it noticed him, it bolted. Despite Hallmark's conviction, park officials remain unconvinced. We've never found evidence of Bigfoot, says park biologist Steve Burrow. Still, he adds with a laugh, if he's here, he's protected as wildlife. Dr. Jeff Kelly, a University of Oklahoma professor, conducted a comprehensive wildlife survey in 2003 that included cameras, tracking stations, and nocturnal searches. The most exciting discovery? A marsh rice rat. A new county record, but not exactly Bigfoot. Hallmark counters with his own evidence. Plaster casts of footprints, hair samples, and even fingerprints he claims are from Bigfoot. Despite sending his prints to Idaho State University's Dr. Jeff Meldrum, a prominent Bigfoot researcher, the results were inconclusive. The prints resembled human patterns, Meldrum said. Bigfoot tales have persisted in Oklahoma for over a century. Stories of a man-beast date back to 1849 near Eagletown, with similar sightings following in 1926, 1951, and beyond. Honobia, Oklahoma, has embraced its Bigfoot reputation, hosting an annual festival with storytelling, crafts, and even a Bigfoot wedding. Locals like Ronnie Hammer recall chilling tales passed down through generations. His grandfather once described shooting a strange, hairy creature near Winding Stair Mountain in the early 1900s, only to bury it out of fear of repercussions. Others share more recent encounters, like a Choctaw woman who refused to venture further into the Kiamichi River Valley, claiming it was inhabited by giants. Lavelle Rose, a longtime resident, vividly remembers hearing an unearthly cry near her cabin, a sound so strange it made her hair stand on end. Bigfoot remains elusive, and the evidence is often dismissed. But for believers like Hallmark, the possibility keeps the legend alive. What I want is proof to show the world they exist, he says. So, does Bigfoot really roam Oklahoma's woods? Perhaps, as Hallmark suggests, it's not about disproving the legend, but embracing the mystery. Because sometimes, it's the stories that matter most. And so, the stories fade into the mist of history, leaving behind footprints in both the earth and our imaginations. Were these encounters glimpses of a hidden truth, or echoes of human fear and wonder? The answers remain lost to time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious and stay brave.